Hello, good morning once again. We have to continue with the last part, which is part 4 of the SWOT analysis, continuing from where we ended in part 3. I would just go straight to the next slide and present the lesson for today. The objective of today's lesson is to learn how to turn the information from your SWOT analysis into a strategic plan, a real practical plan, something that can be called a roadmap for you to be able to actually execute your SWOT and execute your SOSTAC, or make your SOSTAC actually work. So the key topic here is that how to turn the information from your SWOT analysis into a strategic plan. So let's get into it and look at the following alternatives, or things you can do, the factors or the options that are available for you to be able to do this and do it effectively. Now, so watch this. Start off by defining the elements that you have identified under SWOT. Make sure that there are clearer or clearly defined elements under each of the components of the SWOT. For example, look at the table. The table follows. In this table, you can see that the S, which is strength, is indicated here by two major elements. Imagine that you are an NGO, a non-governmental organization, which is more inclined towards children and mothers. Let's say child mortality rates, and you want to curb it, or your focus is to ensure that mothers are able to deliver and we have low mortality rates, get more babies and all that. So if you have such a situation or such a social issue to deal with as an NGO, what are the strengths you can leverage on? What are the opportunities that you can actually identify? What are the weaknesses and what are the threats? Now, so under strengths, let's look at this, that you can leverage on increased reputation. If your NGO is an experienced one and is a highly reputable NGO, okay, and then you can also leverage on great expertise, the fact that your NGO has the experts with you and who can actually mitigate all these issues concerning child mortality rates and all kinds of things that affect mothers, pregnant women, and all that. Okay, and then in terms of weaknesses, the elements that you want to control when it comes to the weaknesses that you have identified are as follows: that there is low funding. It's a problem. It's a challenge. There is low marketing programs. So identifying these weaknesses means that you have identified loopholes that you need to actually fill, holes you need to plug, and then shore up. So it means that over here you need to find ways to raise funds, okay, to shore up your weakness in that area, and also step up your marketing programs or your sensitization programs, advertising, educational programs, okay? And then when you look at the opportunities, what are the opportunities available? Baby boomers, well, maybe your NGO is known for actually saving a lot of babies, ensuring that pregnant women take the necessary precautions, antenatal practices are good, a lot of sensitization on antenatal, prenatal, and all of those things, and then cutting down on issues related to dementia, and then take care of that. Okay, so that becomes opportunities that you need to strengthen, you need to capitalize on, you need to improve on them, even become more innovative in this sense, to make sure that more babies are not losing their lives, more mothers are not losing their lives, pregnant women are coming out well, and their children are coming out healthy. Now, in terms of threats, you can also see that there are some threats that have been identified here, that there is stiff competition from other competitors, or other NGOs, and then there's low funding, which appears to be a general problem because your NGO is also facing the same. So what do? You need to, find ways to actually cut down on these threats. Try and go ahead of your competitors. Whatever donor facilities you can get, the extent to which you can reach your donor partners, raising funds, and ensuring that you do something more effective than what your competitors are doing is very, very important. So identify the specific elements. This is what we mean by specific elements. 2 elements under strengths, 2 under weaknesses, 2 under opportunities, and then 2 under threats. Once you find these elements, the next thing to do becomes easy. Identify the specific elements, which we have done. So we move on to the third one. Now begin to prioritize by selecting one element of your strengths and then another element of your opportunities, and then begin to pair them up, okay, and then use that to develop a strategy or a plan. So what have we identified under the strengths? If you go back, you remember we mentioned under the strengths reputation, okay, and then under the the opportunities, we realized that there was baby boomers, okay, so, or dementia care. The fact that that is very a good opportunity for your company, all right. So it means that in pairing them, we can just pick up reputation and then dementia, and then we get a new strategy. What it means is that you are leveraging on strong reputation of your NGO, okay, as the basis for promoting dementia care, and then you have a new strategy which you can use to actually competitively beat your competitors. It gives you competitive edge over your other competitors. So then we're going to go with these 2, and we have a plan, we have a strategy. That's it. Move on and come to the next point, balancing priorities. You have to balance your priorities now. So we now need to balance the priorities according to the balance score card, which has the following perspectives. The balance scorecard is a BSc, which has financial perspectives, market growth, okay, operational excellence, and then people. Every BSc should have these elements. This is a standard thing that is used and practiced in business. So you just have to ensure that these things are working together. Then you move on to the next new program. What is going to be the new program now? In this case, we want to build a new program for dementia care that is going to build market share, so that we need to focus on market growth perspectives. Okay, so now you are trying to look at the balance score card where market growth was mentioned, market growth perspective was mentioned. Out of 4 items, market growth was one of them. So we didn't pick on the financial, we didn't pick on the others, we just picking on market growth perspective. The fact that, look, out of these 4, we are trying to push market growth, all right, using reputation and dementia care. And then the next point, number 6, market growth perspective. So now, what is going to be the market growth perspective that we want to work on? So select market growth category out of 4 perspectives, and then build a program or a strategy that will help attain the desired market share. Okay, so what is that market growth strategy or perspective going to be? All right, you need to think about it and decide, okay, we're going to do something that will benefit mothers in the area of dementia care, or will benefit babies, whichever. You have to find ways to make your market grow. So the roadmap now would be that a plan, okay, your roadmap down becomes a plan or a strategy, a structure that will define all your goals and how to attain them. So the roadmap should look like this table, which is below. I wish I had enough time to give you more examples, but unfortunately we don't have time. So I'm just going to turn you to the table so that you see how the permutations are done. So in a basic table, you can just draw a long-term strategic objective here in the first column, and then the period of time you want to do your campaign, 1 year goals, and then measures, as in like what you want to attain and how you're going to measure them, okay? And then the target that you are targeting, or the people you are targeting. Now, introduce a new program is part of your roadmap, okay? This is a roadmap, okay? This is a structure that we are going to use to work out a good marketing and advertising campaign for the organization. So, in effect, this is a basic business plan for a strategy that should work out in a campaign, okay, for your NGO, okay? And under 1 year goals, we are looking at developing comprehensive dementia care program in 2019, okay? And then we want 100% competition, okay? So we want to be as competitive, 100% competitive towards our competitors as much as possible. And then one comprehensive completed program is what we are targeting this year, to ensure that in 2019 or 2020 we are effectively going to deliver this program, because this program is what will bring us the market growth. And remember, we have mentioned market growth perspective. So what's your market growth perspective? Your market growth perspective is to ensure that this one program, okay, for mothers and babies, about dementia care and all that, is actually going to happen in 2019. And so we are defining what comprehensive means by developing a criteria for it. So, ladies and gentlemen, down here you see the end of the structure, saying that this then becomes your strategic plan. Now, based on this, you can do all others and any other execution that you have to do. So this becomes a real implementation plan. And by the time you are finishing with this, you would have finished with the real execution of Swot as a business plan, okay? There are some case studies in your course manual that you can refer to, and I want you to read, after watching this video, read the case study from Mothercare and Starbucks Coffee, which is in the appendix of your course manual. And then you would realize how these tools, SOSTAC and SWOT, have been practically executed in a real life situation. Ladies and gentlemen,